looking live at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California.
So Arkansas, no longer a poverty franchise, no longer just lucky to win a game type of situation. What are they, a 3-win team, really a 4-win team now, if we're being realistic? I mean, that's crazy gains in one off season. Insane gains. For an SEC school, it's just a great place to be in. So my would you rather question, would you rather be a fan of Arkansas right now or a fan of Georgia? And let me break it down for a second. I know Georgia's superior. I know Georgia has better talent and everything like that. But Georgia fans must be so tortured right now, losing their minds over what's going on. Arkansas fans they won the Super Bowl with this season. This is their Super Bowl season. I mean, they're showing improvement. They're showing signs of hope. And that's something Arkansas hasn't had for, 6, 8, 10 years, something like that? It's been at least 8 years since Arkansas has had any kind of hope. And here they are winning 4 games in. So, Connor, I'll start with you.
I was gonna say, let me start this off, and I got 2 words for you. Felipe Franks.
Oh, boy.
He is a better quarterback than anyone that is in Georgia right now. He is him. He really do this, and he has shown that he is a winning quarterback. And honestly, I mean, just having Felipe Franks on my squad makes me want to cheer 10 times harder. So I'd rather be an Arkansas fan right now, baby.
I love having a basketball player as my quarterback. It's the best.
Exactly.
Wilson.
I guess if we're talking about this year, I'd probably rather be an Arkansas fan. But in the long run, Georgia would probably be better because, based on expectations, Arkansas is exceeding them. Georgia is doing them. Although I think that the quarterback situation at Georgia, I know, my dad's a Georgia fan. He was very, very upset this weekend. What an absolute train wreck. I think Georgia has the number 1 roster, according to, I think, Rivals or something like that.
4-7, team composite, whatever.
But they have the worst quarterback situation. And I don't mean in Division I. I think you could literally go to Division III football and find that the quarterback situation at one of those teams is better at Georgia.
Are you saying Stetson Bennett should be a D3 guy?
He probably shouldn't even be playing college football, to be honest with you. But, Andrew picked Stetson Bennett to torch Florida up this weekend. That didn't happen. The game started out good for him, but then it went downhill fast. And then Dwan Mathis came in, and we saw why Stetson Bennett was starting. This guy, I don't like to, criticize 20-year-old kids, but wow. That's all I can say. He was really, really bad. I know Georgia fans are hoping to see JT Daniels. I don't know if he's
the worst of the bunch.
I think JT Daniels was number 3 behind Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields in the class. Is it even possible for him to be worse than those 2? I know Matt Myers saw JT Daniels, I think, in 2018, USC. Tell me, Matt, what do you think of the Georgia quarterback situation, and do you think it's possible for JT Daniels to be worse than Stetson Bennett and Dwan Mathis?
It's physically impossible. No, JT Daniels is really good. We watched him. He played in DKR at Texas, and he was good. He's a gunslinger. And, he was making plays. He's got a great arm, and he's just a super talented guy. So it blows my mind. The only explanation is that Kirby Smart is just literally, ruining these people's minds, going in there and, messing with their, mind washing them into, defense, hand the ball off, don't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the only explanation because even a half-injured Trevor what's his name, JT Daniels, with a torn ACL, even with a torn ACL, just brace it up, wrap it in tape, and let him play, it's going to be a better product than Dwan Mathis. I guarantee you that. Even with maybe a prosthetic limb, he might be better. So I don't understand. I think maybe Kirby Smart has, some weird like fetish for, playing the guy who's been in the program for longer. Because, I mean, that would explain playing Jake Fromm over Fields and then messing with them. I don't know. He doesn't trust, like, new people in the program. Carson Beck for Georgia hasn't even been touched yet. Can't be worse than what they have now. He hasn't seen the field either. So it makes no sense. Kirby Smart needs to be, like, seriously on the hot seat if, like, this quarterback just carousel keeps on being a dumpster fire like it is for, like, the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, what confuses me is he said apparently, according to reports, it was something that he wasn't playing because he throws interceptions in practice. I was like, well, Kirby, look at your quarterbacks right now. They're throwing interceptions all over the field. I think Dwan Mathis might have thrown like 2 or 3, and Stetson Bennett's thrown like 5 or 6 in the last like 3 games. So the whole situation was really confusing. I think they were both like 9 for 27 for like under 150 passing yards. So I don't know if Georgia fans don't see JT Daniels soon. I think my dad. I hope for his sake, JT Daniels sees the field. So Matt, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I want to give my thoughts on it, but first, Matt, before we get too far from it, would you rather be a fan of Arkansas or a fan of Georgia?
I'd rather be a fan of Georgia because Arkansas is a program where let's say Pittman and they keep it going. They have like a really good season next year. That's the type of school where like USC, Bama, schools like that would come in there and hire him away, and he would leave. And then also Barry Odom's also a big part of why they're so great defensively, and he's already been the head coach at Missouri, so I would imagine he gets a head coaching job here again pretty soon. So I don't think it's as sustainable long-term at a school like Arkansas, whereas Georgia, they can hire pretty much whoever they want, and that's pretty much like a top-level job. So, I mean, obviously I think Arkansas is way more like swag right now, but realistically I'd be a Georgia fan. But then again, Georgia fans have been in purgatory since 1980, so they're probably just like depressed. So I don't know. That's a tough one, but I'd lean Georgia.
Yeah. I'm leaning Georgia because I still believe in Stetson Bennett. Last game, they started out so hot. Like, they were on fire. I mean, they ran for the long touchdown. Stetson Bennett's out there gunslinging. And the only reason Georgia went down in that game is because Stetson –
because he's a midget. Oh.
Well, it's because the midget got hurt. And you know what? He got hurt in the most humiliating of fashion, too. When he threw for the touchdown pass, he got hit directly on the shoulder. And he's like, rolls, shakes it off. And then he notices he gets the touchdown pass, and then he does the air guitar. He goes, and then he's like, ow, my shoulder. And he was never the same, and then Florida won. I would rather be a Georgia fan because I believe in Stetson Bennett. He's really good. But in all seriousness, I think I'd rather be an Arkansas fan. Matt's right. It's more swag right now. It's more fun to be part of a program on the rise than it is to be a program on the decline. Not that Georgia's on a long-term decline, but Florida is coming after them right now. I mean, Florida is going to start recruiting better and better. I mean, they've won this year. They've won the East this year. It's all but set in stone. It's tough to be a Georgia fan. I feel like they're always right there, and that's a great place to be, winning 10, 11, 12 games a year. But to be so close all the time and then have seasons like this, I tell you, how can you defend Kirby anymore? I mean, I'm probably farther along than most people are on this arc here. Justin Fields, he was using him as a running back. I've already done this before, but I'm going to do it again. He used him as a running back. Justin Fields transfers. He uses Fromm. Fromm shows promise, but then ends up sucking as he gets older. As he progresses, he gets worse, right? He was promising freshman, promising young prospect, gets worse throughout the year, throughout his career, tiny hands, can't throw the ball well. And then you got Stetson Bennett playing over Mathis. And when Mathis went in that game, the first thing I noticed about Mathis, and keep in mind he is a defeated quarterback that's been benched, but his body language was horrible. Just always like just shaking his head, just like always just shaking his head and clearly in disgust, disapproval, just not happy. I mean,
I don't know what he would have been upset about because he had plenty of chances.
I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of weird, man. Stetson Bennett over him. What if Fields would have looked like Mathis if he would have stayed? I don't know.
Argument for that. Yeah. Kirby will probably. He's not on. I wouldn't say he's on the hot seat, but if he doesn't get the quarterback situation figured out, I wouldn't say figured out, but if there's not considerable improvements to the offense next year, I think he's really going to start losing fan support.
He's not on the hot seat. There's rumbling in that program, though. He's not on the hot seat, not even close. But there's a rumble. There's definitely a rumble.
All I'm going to say is if Georgia had Felipe Franks, they'd be undefeated beating Bama. That's all I'm going to say.
Honestly, probably true. If they got his grad transfer, that's not even a joke. They'd be so much better.
And another thing that's really
unless Kirby would have ruined him. Go ahead.
Why did Jamie Newman opt out? That's another one that I don't get. Unless maybe he thought, man, Kirby's going to ruin me.
Maybe Stetson was – no. Maybe Stetson was in front of him. I don't know.
Maybe Stetson's more talented than everyone. Who knows?
I don't know.